What's up? What's up? What's up? We're going to try to get this going again. Today, I'm going to be interviewing my mother. An extraordinary life, one of the most influential people in the world to me. And I just want her to share her story with you about how she overcame some challenging times in her life to get to where she is now. There are so many people who have challenges in their lives, and they just don't know how they're going to overcome. But here's a woman in her mid-80s who did not get her high school education or diploma until she was in her late 30s, raised 8 children, was married for 20 plus years, got married when she was a young woman, and learned a lot in life. She went from not having education to now being an educator. And so we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about what made her, make that change. What were the challenges for her with respect to raising a family, right? In the times that she raised a family, and what can we all glean from that? What can we learn? What can we all learn from that so that it can make us better people in our lives, period. So, Mom, if you can see me here on Instagram Live, I'm going to have you join now, and then we can go from there. So how you doing, Richard? Thank you so much for joining. And anybody else, if you have a question you want to leave it in the comment section, we'll be happy to do that. But this is going to be an interview with my mom. I really, want to just want to share her perspective with you on the world and her world. And she is definitely one of the most influential people in the world to me. Absolutely amazing woman of God, woman of faith. She is definitely a blessing. So if you can see me now, Mom, just go ahead and request to join, and then I will add you to the live, and then we will get started with your interview. I would love to just share your life with the rest of the world. For those of you who are tuning in to this episode of Positive TV, we are going to be doing another motivational speaking event in the coming weeks, a climb to the top of your life, or climb to the top of your life. We're going to be doing that with some amazing co-keynote speakers who are just going to pour into your life. It's free. All we ask you to do is to register to actually join the conference, and it'll be something that I believe is going to be awesome for you. So we have Coach Tiffany Nicole, who's going to be one of our speakers again. Tanya and Dexter and Tanya Scott, they're going to be speakers again. Amazing couple. I mean, they're just absolutely amazing. And then we're also going to have Dr. Venus Miller joining us again. She just had me in tears the last time she spoke, so I'm excited about that. But if you can see me, Mom, go ahead and join the live now on Instagram, and then we can continue on with the interview. A couple things I want to also share with you guys. So I typically go live on a daily basis on other platforms. This is our weekly interview. And when I'm live on these other platforms, typically it's me and the people on that live. I mean, the bottom line is this. One of the things that I was sharing with a group of individuals on another platform on live is, learning to love yourself. Really learning to love yourself, and what that's all about. And a lot of people are having challenges in their relationship and life alone because they don't love themselves enough. What does that look like? What is love? What is loving yourself all about, right? I mean, it's very, very challenging in life to be loved the right way from somebody else if you don't know how to love yourself. Love is a sacrificial action that one person makes towards the other person without any expectation of a return. And in our lives, a lot of times people will sacrifice themselves for the other person. They're treated all in a certain way and they take it. Believe me, I know, been there, done that. I mean, I've been in relationships that were challenging as well. And so, but learning to love yourself is important. One of the topics that I cover in my book, Relationship Success, the 6 big mistakes most people make in relationships, and how to avoid them is, you got to know you. We receive, or we have these challenges come into our lives and relationships because we don't know a lot about ourselves. And since you don't know a lot about yourself, what you like, what you want, how to get it, the whole 9 yards, the other person is left to try to figure it out. Right? You're trying to learn them. They're trying to learn you. It will be so much easier if you knew what you wanted in life and how to get it and how to ask for it. One of the stories that I tell in the beginning of the book is how you go to a restaurant and you sit.
I can't hear you. I can't hear you. I can't hear you. I can't hear you. I don't know what comment.
Tell me if you can hear me now.
I can hear you now.
Okay. Okay, good. So I have these headphones on, and so maybe people weren't able to hear me. But anyway, I will start this all over again and say, I wanted to introduce my mother to everybody. This is my amazing mom, one of the most influential people in the world to me, right? And so I wanted to use this opportunity to have her be introduced to the entire world. And Positive TV is about really the positive life, right? How you get from where you are right now to where you want to go really is going to be determined by how you think. So everybody, I'm introducing you to my amazing mother, Johnny Mae. We're going to talk about her life story from having 8 children to when she got her high school diploma to now becoming what she is right now, an educator. So we'll talk about all of that. So how are you doing today, ma'am?
I'm good.
Absolutely. Okay, good. So let me turn these off real quick. Okay. So what I want to do is, the purpose of this programming, the purpose of Positive TV is to share and profile people's positive lives. And I came to you a few weeks ago and I said, hey, I would love to interview you because you are a humongous and amazing influence in my life. And so I believe that you have nuggets, diamonds, gold nuggets that you can share with people about your life and your journey that can really, really help people. So let's talk about your story. I know that we tried to do this a little earlier, but that's okay. Let's talk about from the very beginning. You had 8 children, 8 amazing kids. You got married as a young girl. So let's talk about that. I said you met Dad when you were 16 years old, and you were telling me about that story. Go back and tell what that story is all about.
Well, first I was he had just came out. He had got out of the military, and he was living in a rooming house next door to where we lived in Miami.
Mm-hmm.
I was on my way to the store one day. He asked me to bring him some candy back. He was just fresh, trying to get a conversation with me. So that's how we met. He was living next door, but eventually he got a room at a on around the corner, not too far from there, because he was living with his brother-in-law at the time. His brother-in-law went to Selma to visit his family, and he had just got out of the military, and he came back to Miami. That's how he got back to Miami.
So, and how old were you, and how old was he?
I was 16. He was 26.
Okay, so here it is. This 26-year-old man asks you, this cute young hottie, to get him some candy because he was trying to be fresh with you, and that's how you guys met. What happened after that?
So, I mean, after that, I guess we talked, and and so forth. Because he was living next door. So eventually, he got a room, got his own place at a rooming house at this lady house. Her name was Miss Gardner. She was renting a room. She rented the room out. She was living in her house by herself, and he got a room there. So, and the way we got together is when Mama, he asked my mother if he could take me out, and she said no. And I asked her why, and she said I was being sassy,
Talking back to her.
Talking back, I wasn't talking back to her. I'm just asking her a question. So then she told me to get out.
So she kicked you out because you asked, well, tell me why. So yes. All of these kids today who talk back to their parents, they don't talk back. They're asking their questions of their parents. If they were kids of my grandmom, your mom, they'd probably be on the street. So she kicked you out, and where did you go to live?
I went to live with him because I didn't have nowhere else to go. I didn't know. I didn't have nowhere else to go.
So he got you. I know you told this part of the story. You got a room. You were living separate initially, and then the lady in the rooming house said, "Hey, why don't you guys just get a room together?" I would imagine to save you guys some money. Correct?
Right.
Okay. Yeah. And then what happened from there?
And from what happened from there? Well, I had Sperling the next year. My oldest child the next year.
At 17.
At 17. Then 6 months after that, I was pregnant with Shirley.
Okay, my oldest sister.
Yeah. And
so you had your first child at 17, your second child at what, 18?
Yeah.
Okay, keep going.
18. So then he wanted to go back to college. So we moved to Montgomery for about 9 months. I was pregnant with Shirley. That's why she was born in Montgomery. So he went back to school. We drove to Montgomery, and we lived in Montgomery. He was going to college, and then he decided he did to go back to Miami. So we went back to Miami, moved back to Miami. But Shirley was born in Montgomery because he was in college.
So here you are, this 17-year-old, 18-year-old girl. Were you guys married at this time?
No.
So you were just still together, 2 kids from this man, drove from Miami to Montgomery, Alabama, and back. Now, what about high school? When you left grandmama's house, did you quit high school, and what was going?
And I dropped out of school. Yeah, I dropped out of school.
Now, why did you drop out of school?
Because I didn't want to go no more.
Okay. So
Marlene had graduated from high school, okay? And I was like, and I didn't want to go anymore after Marlene graduated, which was crazy. But, and Mama allowed me to do that.
So what grade were you in when you dropped out? By the way, this is the first time I've heard this, but
Yeah,
what grade was?
I was in the 10th grade.
So as a 10th grader, you decided I'm gonna marry this handsome military veteran. You had these two kids from him. Here you are, this young cute girl. You drop out of high school in the 10th grade. So I know that you didn't get your high school uh, diploma until you were in your late 30s.
Or
So let's
early.
talk about that.
Yeah,
And Smiley Stylist, Marlene is your one of your great aunts. She's one of my mother's sisters.
oldest. She's the
The
oldest.
oldest sister. Yeah. Okay, so talk about that. So you are, you had kids from 17 to 20. You were 20, now you're 29 years old, and you decided what?
I had 29 years old when you and Donald was born. I didn't want any more kids. Really, I didn't want any more after Karen. After Karen, I was like, oh, I didn't want any more kids after Karen, but then I got pregnant and I had twins. So then I tied my tubes and I was like, no, I want no more kids. I feel I had enough. That was enough. And not that I regret having kids, but that was just enough. I was 20, about 27, 20, around that age when I decided I wanted to do something with my life. I wanted to do something else. But Sperling, he wanted me to continue to stay home. He didn't ever want me to work. I never worked, and which was good, which was fine now, which was okay. But I wanted to do something. He didn't want me to do it. So that's when he started the abuse, because I was determined. I was determined to make something out of my life, to make a change in my life. So, and I did.
So here it is, 13 years later from the time that you met him, and you said, listen, wait a minute. I want to do something with my life, not just be a stay-at-home mom and have these children. I wanted to do more. So what did you decide that you wanted to do?
Well, first I decided what happened is Jeanette, I didn't have any kind of, didn't have any skills. Jeanette Ivy heard on the radio, WMBM in Miami, that they were training people at the American Red Cross on Biscayne Boulevard. Her husband, Charles, I had Karen and Kenneth, they were little, and she had two small ones. She came and told me about it, picked me up. He took us down there. He stayed in the car with the kids while me and her went there and signed up for this training. Because she didn't have any skills either, so I was one of us. So anyway, so we did, and when time come for me for us to start the class in August, it was going to be in August, I was pregnant, and I got kind of discouraged because I was pregnant. I didn't go the first day. So she came to me that evening. She said, Sister Smiley, she said, the teacher asked about you, so come on and go. And I did. And I went. And I filled out the application while I was pregnant. They called me for the job when you and Donald was like 2 months old, 2.5, and I went to work.
So here you are again, started having kids at 17. You dropped out of school as a 10th grader. You decided that after 12 years, okay, enough is enough. I'm tired of being a stay-at-home mom. There's more in me. I want to get that out of me. So you decided that you were going to just try this out. So you went to go to the Red Cross. You got the training. You became a nurse's assistant. And when you went and told Dad that, talk to me about what happened.
Well, he didn't like it. He didn't like it. He didn't want me doing that. He didn't want me working, but I was determined that I wanted to do it, and I did it. And so he did everything he could to keep me. Oh my God, I went through a whole lot. He used to call my supervisor, talk about me, and he did all kind of stuff, keep me from doing it. But I kept on putting one foot ahead of the other. One foot ahead of the other. I sure did, and I was determined. So that's
so, Mama. Let me ask you a question. What would you say to somebody who's watching right now? They're in a situation, a relationship situation, kind of like yours. They know that they have more to contribute in their life. They want to do more, but the person that they're with, whether it's a parent or a spouse or whatever, they're just holding them back, what would you say to that person?
They make a decision. They have to. They're gonna have to go for it. Do what you want to do to make yourself happy, and that's what I did. I was determined to do that. And it came back to me. And what stopped Sterling abusing me was I went and took out a peace warrant against him. We lived in the same house. He could not touch me. But that's when he verbal abused me. But he could not touch me. And we lived like that till he left.
So you decided you were going to get this education. You were going to start working. He didn't like it. So as a way to control you, he started to physically abuse you.
Right.
And you decided that you were going to stand up for yourself. So you went down to the police station and said, I want a warrant against him, protective warrant against him. And they gave you that protective warrant. And then you said he started to verbally abuse you. How did you make it through that?
Right. How did I make it through that? Huh?
Yes. How did you make it through that?
Through prayer. I became a prayer. I prayed because I'm like, I was going to stop him from drinking. We don't know any better. And people used to tell me, honey, the Lord going to fix it. God ain't going to fix nothing. You make a decision that you don't have to put up that anymore, and he will open doors for you.
Wait a minute. I want you to say that again because that's important. So you said that you used to pray.
Yeah, I pray.
And your friends used to tell you God is going to fix it. And what did you say?
Oh, they didn't say. They would say the Lord going to fix it. And I used to believe that, but then I realized after reading and praying and stuff, God will fix it. But you got to make a step for him to fix it. He's not going to fix while you sit there and allow these things to happen to you. You got to get up and do something. That's when it said, when Isaiah 40, Isaiah 40 said, but they that wait means waitering, like you're waiting on somebody in a restaurant. That's what wait means. It means waiting on somebody. You got to get up and do something. You got to get up and do something for yourself to make it better for yourself. It doesn't matter. Get up and you can do it.
So you're saying if a person is in an abusive situation, they want their life to change, or if a person wants their life to change in general, they have to get up and start doing it. So you can pray, but pray while working. Is that what you're saying?
While you're waiting. Pray while you're waiting. Pray while you're waiting. Don't just sit there and think somebody come knock on the door. So here it is. You got to get up and do something. And you'll feel better, and you'll realize, oh my God, okay. I can do this. And they can do it.
One step at a time.
One step at a time.
So here you are, you're 29 years old. You've experienced physical abuse. You decided to stand up for yourself. You have 8 kids. And thank God you didn't stop having kids after Karen, because then Donald and I wouldn't be here. All right. So you were 29 years old. You have 8 kids. You decided you're going to stand up for yourself. No more physical abuse for you. You realize, I can't stop him from drinking. I'm going to do what I have to do for myself. Then what happens next for you? You started working, then what?
Well, then he started this, and then he was still a fifth verbally abusing me, and he would call I can remember, I used to go to work, and he would call my supervisors at the hospital and talk about me to them, say negative stuff about, but I still went to work. I still kept on going. I kept on going. And the key is it's just like a newborn baby. You have to put one foot, you got one foot ahead of the, keep on going, because you can do it. And even now with me, I had retired, and then I decided, okay, they called me and said, come back to work. I went on back to work. And people like, you ain't 4 years old? Yeah. I'm good. Yeah. And I feel good because I can plant some seeds in these kids' lives. I can help somebody.
So here you are. Yeah, and let's talk about that journey. So we'll kind of fast forward to where you are right now. But you were 29. You got your certificate to be a nurse's assistant. You did not get your high school GED until your late 30s, 38, 39, 40 years old. And so when did you decide that you were going to go back to college and become an educator?
Well, what happened? I was working at Smith Klein, and I got carpal tunnel. So what happened? They had to back to school to do something. So when I took the test, I was good at that. The education thing was one thing. It was nursing. So I decided to go into education, which I wished I had gone into earlier. And I learned, and I love it. I love it. So I love it.
So how long have you been an educator?
Oh, over 20 years.
So okay, because I want people got to follow this. This is important. So married at 17 or kids at 17, 29, you decide to get this certificate to be a nurse's assistant. You work through physical abuse. You work through raising 8 children. You work through mental abuse. You went through a divorce and you remarried the guy. You remarried the guy.
Third time, but he died.
So talk about that. So why did you get married? Why did you decide to get married a second time? And you just said you were going to marry him a third time?
Yeah. The reason I was going to marry because I was insecure. When the second time, and I wanted my family to be together. Of course you want your kids to have the dad, the whole 9 yards and everything. So I remarried him back. And I was insecure because I didn't know how to do anything. He paid all the bills. He did everything. I didn't know how to do nothing. But take care of the kids, cook. I cook. Make sure children eat, whatever. And now, he was a good father. But Sproul was a good father. He was a good provider. But he had some issues that and that's that. But he was a good provider, and he took care of it, and he didn't know any better. So I wanted my family. So I wanted my family.
So the main reason you decided to, for you, if I'm hearing you correctly, the main reason why you decided to marry him a second time was because you were insecure and you wanted your family to be together.
Exactly. And I would have been third time, not because I loved him, or because our relationship wasn't based on no lovey, that gooey stuff. It was based on a need. And
Talk about that.
Huh? It was based
about that.
I needed, when my mother put me out, I needed somebody in my life to protect me, to keep me safe. I couldn't go to her mama. I couldn't go to anybody else, because they would have said, you sassed your mama, da, da, da. So he was the one that took care of me, took me in, and kept me safe. I was never in love with him. But I loved him as a person with what he did. And I appreciate it. Because I could have been a stripper, could have been anything. But he took care of me. And I do appreciate that.
So that's very interesting. So people think that marriages last as long as yours did, 20 plus years. You have to be in love with each other. Is that?
You don't have to be in love. You don't have to be in love. No, you don't have, it have to be. No, it's not about love. It's not about that gooey stuff. You can meet somebody, but you learn to love the person and accept them for who they are. But you don't have to love somebody. You meet somebody, y'all come to a common goal, and you grow together and learn to love each other, appreciate each other, respect each other. That's where I see.
Well, you did it. So obviously, so people, there are people right now, they're in a relationship, whether it's a marital relationship or they're thinking about, maybe getting married with that person, but they say, my friends are telling me that I shouldn't marry this person because I'm not in love with them. And people try to make the distinction between love and being in love. What would you say to those people? If this person is right for them, for whatever the situation is, what would you say to them? Should they discount it? Should they not discount it? What should they do? What should they do, Mom?
They should marry the person. If you're two people, the Bible says, how can two walk together unless they agree? If you meet, if two people in a relationship and y'all have a common goal, you want to work together to build something, to be great, then fine. I don't think wrong with it. I don't. I think a person should do that. And then eventually you can learn to love. You have companionship, friendship, Well, you learn to, you learn to care about each other.
So one of the things that I say is staying married for a long time means that you have to make a decision on a daily basis to remain married. Would you agree with that? And what would you say about that?
Yeah. If I feel if you're not being abused, physical, mental, physical, mental, if you can make the marriage work, because everybody got an issue. I'm a person like that. Everybody got something they need to work on in their lives. So you go out there and get somebody else, they gonna have something. The other person gonna have something else. So you might as well stay together. If you can live together in harmony, then go ahead and live together and learn to love each other and respect each other. Learn. You don't have to be no gooey love like people. Oh, I'm in love. You love the person. You respect that person, and that's my opinion.
Well, and it was your life, because I saw that you obviously we see that it lasted for over 20 years. Let's talk about family. When I say the word family to you, what thoughts, feelings, or emotions come to mind for you?
Oh my God. Family. And I'm about to cry.
That's fine. You can cry.
My family, I'm talking about my family. Mean everything to me. Everything. I didn't have a family. So I created this family, built this family on love. And I am determined that I will not let nobody take my family away from me. I remember I used to do family dinners. I used to do 2 holidays. I did it for years because I wanted my family to be together. If it meant if it meant doing 2 Christmas, 2 Thanksgiving, 2 whatever, I did it because I'm still like that. My family is everything to me, but also I have learned how to let some family members go, let everybody grow at their own pace. It's fine with me, but you are part of me. I invested my love, my money, my everything. And I feel like family is a business. My family is like a business to me. I invested everything I had in my kids. And I have no regrets. Everything. And I had to learn how to say no to my kids because I've always been there for them. But I've learned how to step back and allow everybody to go through whatever they need to go through so they can grow.
So you started off, when I asked this question, you said you didn't have family. Talk about that.
Well, growing up, I was between my father's and my mother, and the people that had the greatest influence on me was my father's. So I was raised like an only child, although I had 7 other siblings. I was raised like an only child. I was raised like an only child, and I'm like that to this day. I can be by myself. I'm like only child, but I was never connected. I feel with my siblings where you have that sister, that brother, all that. So it was like that with me because I didn't growing up. So,
One of the things that I notice about you is you can be happy, obviously, as you say it, by yourself. But when we all come together as a family, that's when I see you are your happiest. Talk about that.
well, what happened is when I moved here to Atlanta, I would miss my kids. So I started doing family dinner. I did it for years and years. And what happened, and the reason I did it, I realize now, was when they come around, I receive love from them. When they would come, I would come, I'd cook, and I'd be so tired, but I didn't care as long as they came. Because if I cook, even today, if I cook today, everybody come. But if I cook, I know they won't come and show me some love.
So cooking and family gatherings was your way of
receiving love from my kids, from my family. And it's still like that. But only regret about that is I didn't voice why I was doing it. And I think when we do something, I've learned when we do something, because there are different kind of learners. Everybody don't learn the same way. So I should have said, this is why I'm doing this. I remember Donald doing this last year. He did it last year, was telling them why I did it, while I was doing this. But I do the cooking and all that stuff because I want them all to be there, come and sit down, enjoy yourself, spend time together, learn about each other. But some of them don't get it, some don't get it. So, but that's okay. But eventually they will learn. Yeah, I learned that.
So sometimes as parents, we don't know the impact that we have on our children. And that can be tough because oftentimes our children don't come back and say thank you to their parents. But
right,
one of the things about me, and when I said at the top of this program, is you have been probably the single most greatest influence on my life, is I'm a family guy.
mm-hmm.
You know, building a family, growing a family, and I learned all of that from you. So talk about that. Talk about how important it was for you to try to be the positive influence on your children that you have become. So talk about that. Why was that important to you, and how did that become part of your life?
Well, because we have to realize our children are a reflection of us, and I wanted my kids to be the best that they could be. And no, you can be in to do anything. Be the best that you can be in life, because they're an asset. I look at kids as being an asset. You know, we want our kids because when you walk out the door, you're a reflection of who I am, and so I want all my kids to be winners.
I need to ask you a question.
What?
It's a little off topic, but that's okay. We used to have some of the best Christmases ever. Now, Mom, I knew that we grew up with not the most means, the biggest, the largest bank account, and the biggest resources. How is it that you, as a single mom, was able to pull off having all of those gifts underneath the Christmas tree every single Christmas? How did you do that?
You go and lay it away. You go and pay for a little at a time, because I wanted y'all to have the best. I wanted you to be happy. I wanted y'all to be happy.
So you would lay those gifts away and pay for it over time.
Right, yeah. Yeah.
So we can have all of those gifts. Why was that important to you?
Because that's what kids look forward to receiving. Not gifts on Christmas Day. It's about kids. And it make me, when my kids are happy, then I'm happy.
So that was the connection. The connection was, I'm going to make the sacrifice. Mm-hmm. I'm going to do what I have to do to bring happiness to them, because if they are happy, then I am happy.
Yeah.
And is that still part of your life today?
Yeah.
Talk about that. Because you have less control. You have a lot less control. Obviously, you have less control over these grown-ass kids you have now, right? Yeah. But talk about that.
Well, some of them listen and some don't.
Okay.
But I can't change them because, you know, they make their own choice. But, you know, like I tell them, I'm a valuable asset. If you need something or want to know something, you can come to me and I'll help you with it. So they have to learn, like I had to learn. But see, I didn't have nobody to be there for me to try to teach me. I read books, but they have me, you know. But they still do what they want to do. They grown, but some of them I have to let go. Some of them have to let go, and I let go with love. I use tough love, tough love. We have to use tough love with some of these kids.
So, and we'll circle back to that. You know, should you hang on or should you let go the whole 9 yards? We're hanging, but let's talk about you for just a second. I know that you are an avid reader of self-help books. How did you get into that? Talk about that journey.
Well, I prayed. I wanted to be better, a better person. I want to learn. So the Holy Spirit directed me to Dalton Bookstore in Dayland. I didn't know about Dalton Bookstore, but I went there. I didn't know they had a self-help section, but the Holy Spirit directed me there. So, and I would go there and I would stand in front of the book. Whatever my eyes reflected on, that's what I need in order to grow. If I remember I was not assertive, and I went to the bookstore and got the book called How to Be Assertive, and I learned how to be assertive. I learned how to say no. So that's why I love to read. Even to this day, I still buy books. If I need something, then I'll read about it. They have to give me the courage to get through it.
So what I'm hearing you say is, when you felt a void in your life, an area that you needed to grow in, you would go to the Dalton bookstore to find the resource to fuel your thinking with the information in the book so that you can eventually become it. And there's a lot of people consuming content nowadays. It's all over the internet. We can pretty much at the touch of our hand with a phone in our pocket, we can almost get this stuff. What would you say to somebody? Right now they're saying, you know what, I need to be more assertive, or I need to be more confident, or I need to have a better relationship with my husband or wife or my parents or my siblings. What would you say to those people about how they can get what they need?
First of all, I'm like this. I said, okay, I need this. The Holy Spirit, and God will put people in your life, physical, or through the internet. What He will supply your need. Whatever you need, He said, I will supply all of your need. If you need some help in how to build a good marriage, they got books on that. You want to be a better person? They got books on that. Start reading about it. You want to have more confident? Go read a book. Learn how to be confident. And sometimes you got to practice by yourself. And you want to say something to somebody, and you're afraid to do it. Start speaking to yourself. Telling yourself that, talk to yourself. I'll talk to myself in a minute.
I love it. Let's talk about this in the last couple of questions. In 84 years of living, and by the way, Ashley said, your mom don't look 84. Thank God for good genes.
Yeah.
What would you say has been your biggest challenge in life?
My biggest.
Or a big challenge in life?
One of my challenges have been being in a relationship with a man, a real man, that know that a real leader. And that's why I am single today, because it's hard to be involved with men, and they don't man up.
Okay, let's talk about that. Come on, talk about that. So first of all, so you're saying your biggest challenge has been, say that again, restate that.
Has been men. One of my biggest challenges, because first of all, the men that I had, they were looking for mothers. I perfected, and I prayed, I perfected this mothering thing so good, perfected it, that I was attracted to the men that needed a mother, that need some mothering. Somebody to cook, I'm a great cook. I'm a great caregiver. But
is that what you need? Is that what you needed in your life? What did you need in your life from a man?
I need somebody to be there to support me, say I love you. Let's go out, let's do something, let's grow together. Because what happened is I had a man to take care of me. He took care of me and his kids. He took care of me. I know what you're supposed to do. But they don't want to do it. So it's like, come on.
So let me ask you this. Why do you think that you were attracting these wrong type men?
Because I had perfected this mothering. I had mothering. They wanted a woman that because I'm a strong woman, I learned how to be a strong woman. So the weak man was attracted to me. And I had to realize that, oh no, So I had to stop. I had to like, oh no, I'd rather be single. I'm not doing it anymore.
So weak men come to you. You have this gift, this ability to be mothering and care for them. They become attracted to that and then want to end up being in a relationship with you. That's what they needed, but that's not what you needed. So what would you say to these women today who are attracting these men, and they are everything that the man needs, but that man is not nothing close to what they need? So what would you say to these women about how they're attracting these wrong men?
Well, they need to come to grip with it. Or now they can talk to the man about also you tell a man what you tell a person you need. This is what I need to make me happy from you. This is what I need from you. Okay? And if they're willing to work with you, then that's fine. You tell people what you need. Because if you don't tell them, then they don't know. But I didn't know to do that. But I've learned how to do that. To tell somebody what you need. This is what I need. I need you to do this. I need you to do this. I need you to do this here.
So in order for women or men to break the cycle of having wrong relationships in their lives, you're saying, one, know what you need first, and then number two, communicate that to the other person. And would you also say that they shouldn't, if the person can't bring that to the table, if that person that they're talking to is unable to provide to them what it is they need in their lives, what would you say to them?
They don't need to be single until they find somebody, meet someone that meet their need.
So don't accept it.
That's willing to work together. Two people have to work together. This is what I need. I need this. I like this. I'm a family person. And I'm family oriented. Well, I ain't family. Well, then you can learn how to be a family person. Okay? You learn how to be a family person. Yeah, I might not like to go fishing either, but I'll go fish with you just to be supportive of you. And then I might learn how to love it. So that you got to work together. Tell people what you need. But see, I didn't know that.
I love that. Okay, in closing, take the next 1 or 2 minutes to look into the camera and just to speak from your heart. Just share whatever's on your heart or your mind that you believe will be helpful to people. And by the way, people, everybody who's listening, my mom is a licensed minister, has been for, 40 years. So she knows the word of God, taught us the word of God. So I want you to just take a moment and just speak into the camera, Mom. Go.
Well, I would just tell people today, you don't have to. Also, like people tell me, I don't look like I'm 84. I don't act like I'm 84. I believe that whatever you can do in life, you do that. But be the best that you can be. If you be the best and do your best that you can be. And try to love everybody. And be real. Don't be phony. Just be real. And first of all, you got to put God first. The Bible said, in all thy ways acknowledge him. He will direct your path. And seek ye first the kingdom of God and all his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. Seek God first. You're looking for, I say, Lord, I need this type of person. And I'm telling you, God will do that. But you got to be willing to accept. They might not look like you want them to look, act like you want them to act, but they might have something that you need, and y'all can work together as one.
I can remember you being in the kitchen, cutting up collard greens, the way you cut up collard greens. And there are moments in our lives that we will never forget. And I can remember you standing at the sink with the water and the collard greens, washing those greens, and you would end up saying something like, "I don't feel no waste time." Keep saying that.
Yeah.
I've come too far from where I started from.
Don't
Remember that song?
told me that the world was gonna be easy. I don't believe you brought this far to leave me. Well, see, because I would be feeling kind of down then, and I had needed something to lift me up. And I would, and I'd be like, okay, well, I don't feel no way tired. I don't believe you brought me this far to leave me. Mm-hmm. And
So that's the message of the day that people need to understand. That life is challenging, life is tough. You heard it from a woman who has lived 84 years and has a whole lot of life ahead of her. A woman who has raised 8 children. She has come through a ton of different odds. I know you might feel tired and weary mentally, emotionally, and physically, but you come too far, right? You've come too far. God won't leave you at this particular time. Mom, I really appreciate you. I thank you for the gift that you are. I love you more than words can express. You are a true gift in my life, and I know are a gift in the life of so many people. Your struggles are lessons that we can learn from. Your successes are lessons that we can hold up. So thank you so much for being who you are. Thank you so much for being on this program today, and thank you for sharing your life with all of us. I love you so much. If anybody wants to send her some love, you can send me a DM. I'll make sure she gets it. But Mom, I thank you so much. I love you so much. I'll give you the last words and then we'll sign off.
Huh? What you say now?
I'll give you the last words and then we'll sign off.
Okay.
Go.
You want me to give the last word?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you having me on. Thank you, and I love you so much, and I'm proud of who you become. Who are you become? You are becoming. All those books I read, those seeds I planted.
You can see them coming up. You see them coming up, right?
Yeah.
How does that make you feel?
It makes me feel good.
I love you, Mom.
Proud of you.
I love you so much.
Love you more.
All right, take care.
Okay.
Bye-bye.